and welcome back everyone to a video series dedicated to CBS's Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Now, just like my other videos, I will be going over a review and recap of what happened on Thursday's night's live eviction, and then we're gonna go into a live feed updates, which is not gonna be terribly long because it's just one night. But let's just jump right into it where last episode left off, and that is Memphis at the veto ceremony not using the veto on either Nicole or David. They are staying on the block, and one of them will be evicted. Now, we go through the week, and Devon was a very prominent figure throughout this week, and in this edit and in this episode in the beginning, where her vote was going to decide really who went and who stayed this week. Now, Nicole is talking to Devon about keeping her here. Like, hey, if I leave, that's another woman out of this house. The guys are gonna overtake the women, and we made a final three together. Now, Devon says that she understood, but it's not about that. That voting out David would go against her morals and the pact she made with herself coming into this game. And Nicole A said she understood. And then we get this like edit of Kaser trying to say that he has an alliance that he wants to form with him, Janelle, Devon, Bailey, Nicole A, and he's working on Christmas. But we all know where Christmas is lying within the house. And then we have a scene where she's talking to David about possible alliances that he's a part of, that she's heard from people. And then he's like, I have safeguards within the house. And then Devon is like, well, if I can guess them, would you tell me them? And David said no. And he's looking out for his game, and then he's telling her to chill out with campaigning for him because, hey, that might think that we're together, which they do have an alliance with her, David, and Bailey, and they want to keep it on the down low within the house so they're not targeted all at once. And he was trying to be like, hey, stop campaigning for me right now. You're going a little hard in the paint, and I just don't want people to connect that we're super solid together, and I think you just need to calm down with that. Bailey and Devon have a conversation where they're just really frustrated with David and the way he's acting while they're trying to help him, and the edit is trying to make it seem like, oh, could we be swaying one way or the other? No. On the live feeds, Devon was never going to vote out David. Not even once. I think we just saw just an emotional scene where it was like anger. You just say things in anger, but when you're dealing with somebody's morals and what they truly believe, those aren't going to sway in the breeze. That's just not how it works. I mean, anger comes and goes, but your morals stay with you. So Devon was never gonna vote out David. They never even came close to having the votes to vote out David and keep Nicole A in the house. Speaking of that, we get the whole montage of Nicole campaigning to everybody, talking bad about Janelle and Kaser. This was majority of the past couple of days, and she really did feel set up, and it was misplaced anger, it was misplaced frustration, and she thought that she was set up by Janelle and Kaser, and they had this mastermind plan to get her out of the house. So she's mad at Janelle and Kaser for trying to keep her in this game, and they didn't have a conversation until Wednesday night and really laid it out on the line, and that's when Nicole was like, wow, I can't believe I was really thinking that the whole week. I'm such an idiot, and I'm probably going to be voted out on Thursday. Speaking of the vote, let's get to the vote, and that's when David and Nicole A address everyone, trying to tell them what they should do and why they should keep them in the game. Nicole A addresses Memphis and says, congratulations on taking me out this week. I'm such a terrible target, and I'm glad that you saw how much of a threat I was, really mocking Memphis for his weak gameplay this week. Nicole A addresses everybody saying, hey, if you're not in an alliance, you need to start taking action because there's probably an alliance in this house and they're gonna take everybody out one by one, which everybody is in sort of an alliance, except for Janelle and Kaser, who are in alliance with each other, but nobody else in the house. Everybody votes. It's 10-2 vote for Nicole A to leave the house. It was Enzo and Kevin who voted to keep Nicole A in the game, which Enzo is a very big question mark on why he voted to keep Nicole A in the game with everybody else in his quote-unquote alliances voting to take out Nicole. Kevin has been telling everybody throughout the week that he just can't vote out Nicole, that he can't just have her go out on a unanimous vote, so he voted to keep Nicole in the game. We move to the HOH comp, where it's shuffleboard with fake beer glasses. There's 3 shuffleboards. You have to try to throw your glass as far as you can to get the highest point total. You'll add up all your points at the end of the 3. If there is a tie, it's the one who does it the quickest. Cody goes first, he only gets 4 points. Enzo gets 8 points. He's good for a while until Ian goes, and Ian gets like 10 points. He's up there for a while until Tyler goes, and Tyler gets 12 points. And they like to say this order was random, but they kept Janelle and Kaser at the end for dramatic effect. And Janelle gets 11, 1 off, and Kaser, bless him, he throws that first beer glass trying to get 5 points, and it goes off the table, and he was mathematically taken out on the first glass, meaning Tyler is the new HOH for this week of Big Brother, and that's where this episode ends. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. Were you sad to see Nicole A leave the game? Let me know that in the comment section below. And what do you think about Tyler being the new HOH? Now I'm going into the live feed updates. Oh man, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of Janelle and Kaser. I'm currently rewatching Big Brother 7 All-Stars, and what a different game that we're playing right here. And I'd like to say that I'm okay with them not being HOH this week, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. I really wanted to see Janelle and Kaser win. I wanted to see something of the house be shaken. But let's go into the night's events. Nicole F was talking trash about Janelle, and Janelle was talking smack about Nicole F. There's no surprise there that they don't like each other. Kevin and Janelle were talking, and this is an interesting talk that Kevin and Janelle were having. So Kevin comes up to Janelle, says that, hey, I know you kept me out of all the alliance talks last week, and I want to know why. And Janelle was like, well, because we thought you hated us and that you were going around saying that we need to be targeted throughout this game until the both of us are out of this game. Which, at this point, who hasn't? Who hasn't talked mad smack about Jacer in this house besides them two and said that they needed to leave sooner rather than later? They come to a mutual understanding that they need to work together, and together they could benefit each other's games. And we get a little bit more clarity on where Memphis stands in the game, because Janelle is talking that Memphis is dense in the head and is bad at this game for the game move he made, and that he doesn't want to be in an alliance with them / anybody to her knowledge. And Kevin is like, well, if he doesn't want to be in an alliance with you, he must have got a better offer somewhere else. And Janelle was like, he doesn't talk to anybody. And that's when Kevin says he talks a lot to Cody and Tyler, so the clock and the wheels are starting to turn in the right direction. So they're talking about working with each other in this game for as long as they can. Danny tells Nicole that, hey, I'm glad Tyler won HOH. I'm glad he's on our side, but we need to target him sooner rather than later. We can't let him get too far into this game because he could start winning competitions and then start taking us out. And Nicole agreed. We had a new alliance pop up, but it's like a new old alliance. Ian tells Danny, Cody, and Nicole that they should be in an alliance together called 4 Prime, and if they need to bring in somebody else, they could probably bring in Tyler, which at this point, this is like Danny, Nicole, and Cody's like 18th alliance. Their game in this house is like they're the Barbie, and everybody else is just the accessories. Whatever they feel like, they can just put on those accessories, and that alliance fits them this week. This alliance fits them this week. And like, for whatever reason, everybody is just like attracted to Danny, Cody, and Nicole, who are going to get like free passes all throughout this game because everybody is just signing up to be in an alliance with them, and then they're just gonna cross the names off 1 week at a time because they're just gonna be safe throughout this whole competition. We also have Christmas and Tyler naming their final 2 the Carolinas, which, why do you have to name the final 2? It doesn't really matter at this point. Luckily, every one of Tyler's final 2s don't want to name each other, because then he would have a really tough time remembering every single name and every single final 2 deal he made. After all this conversations, Danny goes up to Tyler, just confirms that he's going to be going after Janelle and Kaser. He says that's 100% what's going to happen. They have an easy week this week, meaning they're going to have a boring week this week, as everybody's just going to vote whichever Janelle or Kaser is still left on the block. If one of them takes themselves off, the other person is still going to be voted out this week. And they say that they're going to have an easy couple of weeks going after either Janelle or Kaser, whoever's left in this game. They're going to have an easy couple of weeks taking the one and then the other out. And then they're talking about how it's going to get interesting as the game progresses. Who is going to be the next target? And Danny name drops Devon, saying that Devon is a threat to their alliance and that she'll probably take a shot at them sooner rather than later once Janelle and Kaser leave. So she wants them to go after Devon after Janelle and Kaser are gone. But that is pretty much it for what happened in the live feeds in the game. This is going to be just a one-note week this week in the Big Brother house with them going after Janelle and Kaser. If the veto is one will take themselves off and the other one will stay the target next week. But what do you think about everything that's going on in the Big Brother house? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Janelle or Kaser is going to go once they're up on the block? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who has the best opportunity to win the veto? Let me know that too. The safety suite is going to be pretty much useless except for an extra segment on the show, as nobody else is really in danger except Janelle and Kaser. If you're watching the live feeds and you're a fan of Janelle and Kaser, you're just watching to see their friendship for one last week before one of them is taken out, and then it's going to be a real bore of live feeds. That's just my opinion. I'm a huge Janelle and Kaser fan. But that is it. What do you think about everything that's going on? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about this All-Star season as a general overall heading into the third week? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more Big Brother content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.